Welcome to the FinTech Times News and Views podcast. Established in 2016, the FinTech Times is a global multimedia news outlet centered around the world's first leading FinTech newspaper. We report on the latest and brightest ideas from the FinTech world. Follow the conversation using hashtag TFD News and Views and follow us at the FinTech Times.
Hi, my name's Mark Walker. I'm the editorial director of the FinTech Times, and we're here at Abu Dhabi Finance Week on day 2. I'm going to start off by asking my interviewee to introduce herself to you, the audience.
Hi, I'm Samantha Yap. I'm the founder of Yap Global. We're a PR agency specializing in crypto, digital assets, and Web3 based around the world. And we're really excited to be here at Abu Dhabi Finance Week.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I guess you must be really busy because digital assets and Web3 has really exploded over the last couple of years, hasn't it? And a lot in this region as well. Give me a little bit of an overview of the trends of you've seen it over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's worth just pointing out, we're speaking in a year when Bitcoin actually hit the all-time highs of, I think, 165,000 per Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong, it might be even higher. But that's just one indicator of just how explosive the industry has been this year. We've also seen stablecoins this year pick up an adoption of stablecoins, and we're seeing a move of FinTechs now realizing that crypto is the go-to way to do cross-border payments. And so you see Robinhood, Stripe launching their own chain. Recently, Klarna made an announcement, and Revolut naturally having also been involved with crypto. And I point out FinTechs because I think that is the bridge between the crypto world and the traditional financial world. So that's what we're seeing. And then particularly for the UAE, we're also seeing a lot of, and particularly maybe from London and Europe, founders and entrepreneurs moving over to set up shop either in Dubai or Abu Dhabi because of the favorable tax environment for crypto, as well as you're seeing the regulators like ADGM and VARA being very focused on supporting crypto companies and welcoming them in here to the UAE. And so that's what we've seen this year, and it's actually been quite exponentially growing. Because you said the last couple of years, but actually it really has only really taken off in the last year. And so we expect to see more. And it's just really impressive being here at Abu Dhabi Finance Week and just also seeing a big portion of the agenda and booths dedicated to digital assets. So we're very excited as a PR agency.
Well, it's quite interesting you say that about the last year, because you're probably right actually, because when you think about Abu Dhabi Finance Week last year, it was obviously a little bit more traditional finance heavy. This year, we've had people, we've got Coinbase here, we've got Binance here, we've got Circle here, we've got all of the big global players all coming here. You mentioned sort of they're coming here for the tax reasons, but do you think it's the personal tax side of things, or do you think it's more to do with the actual regulatory environment, which actually has clarity here compared to other regions?
I think it's both. I think the regulatory clarity is definitely attractive. I think the geographic location of the UAE is also very attractive because crypto and digital assets is quite a global industry. And so the fact that, you're in the Middle East, it's kind of connecting the East and the West together. And so I think it's both. I think the regulators, I think people are being quite interested in engaging in conversations, and it actually really kicked off Token Dubai this year. It felt like last year, but it was like this year around March, April. I was in Dubai, and it was also just quite impressive to see the meetings that were taking place there. And then I think it's just kind of accelerated here in Abu Dhabi. So it's been interesting to see. And then you mentioned, the big names like Circle, Binance, Coinbase. And it's not just them, it's the CEOs have flown in. That's serious. I mean, to get, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, fly in means they mean business. So
absolutely. Michael Sayer from Strategies in Town.
Exactly.
Jeremy from Circle.
It's impressive to see because they don't normally travel to all global crypto conferences, but the fact that they've made a priority to come to Abu Dhabi is definitely interesting.
It's very much interesting, and we're definitely seeing, I think, that sort of merging of two worlds. There was very much a crypto world, which the finance world kept at arm's length for quite a while, but it is getting more and more intertwined. And I guess thinking about yourself as sort of Yap Global, how have you transitioned yourself from that sort of more Web3 sort of based community. Is there a different approach when it comes to PR and a different approach when it comes to how to work with clients now?
Yeah, perhaps I could just touch on why Yap Global started. It started because I truly believed in the fundamental vision and mission of Bitcoin. I understood from day one when I was introduced to Bitcoin in 2017, so that was not that early, but it was still early, and I knew that this was going to underpin the future of the financial system. Now, back then, there was a negative stigma, there was a lot of disbelief, there was also lots of highs and lows of the market going to bull markets and bear markets and crashing quite extravagantly, like when the FTX exchange collapsed. But throughout it all, we focused on telling the crypto story. And now the crypto story has evolved, it has grown up. And so we are seeing a professionalization of services that clients are looking for. A bunch of our clients are also now moving into capital markets. They are, listing via SPAC mergers or going for IPOs. So we're seeing also professionalization of our PR service. Yap's been running for 8 years now. We're focused on the crypto story, and this is where the crypto story is now. And so we kind of meet it where it is, and then we take it
and move forward from there.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting sort of convergence sort of time at the moment. Going back a little bit, you talked about stablecoins. Stablecoins is one of my most fascinating subjects at the moment. Back in June at Money 2020 in Amsterdam, I hosted a panel called Stablecoins, the Dream versus the Reality, about how and when mainstream adoption would take place. And I'd be interested to get your views on that exact sort of thing as well, because stablecoins are not they're kind of that convergence token, because they're not quite Bitcoin, but they're also not fiat, and they're not central bank digital currency. So what's your take on stablecoins?
Yeah, so I think coming from a very crypto native background, we've actually been exchanging in stablecoins for many years now. I would say even in the early days, I was taking payments in stablecoins because that's the beauty of stablecoins. You can get payments instantly. I'm a service provider, so when we bill our clients, when the clients pay us via banks transfer, it usually takes us a week before we see that money, and I got to pay my staff, right? But stablecoins, it happens instantly. It happens in seconds. And so I've seen that throughout my career. So right now, what is happening with FinTechs now, like for example, recently Klarna announcing that they want to launch their own stablecoin. That's exciting because Klarna has a big user base, and then if their user base starts adopting stablecoins, I think we're going to start to see the incorporation of stablecoins in our day-to-day lives when we're shopping for groceries or we're shopping for buying clothes or items. But that excites me. But over the years, I think there has been a industry and a crypto world operating in stablecoins since day one. And it is a very useful tool because, like you said, it's not central bank digital currency, so it's not, ruled by the government. We use, USDC. There's also USDT Tether, which is also very widely adopted. It's the largest stablecoin. It's just a great way to do business.
It could be an hour-long conversation if I start asking too many questions on this, because the whole USDC, regulated, micro-conforming, allowed to be used in Europe, Tether, not, but Tether very, very widely adopted, especially in sort of South America. There's so many avenues we can go down there. One interesting thing that I had a conversation with the CEO of Polygon, and he predicted that by the end of 2026, we'd probably see around 100,000 stablecoins. Do you think that is how the industry is going to go, and it's going to expand ginormously like that before it contracts?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because there's in addition to the US dollar, which is obviously the dominant currency today, there will be multiple stable coins for different currencies like Singapore dollar, euro, even the British pound. So I think that will add to it, like the different foreign exchange, different foreign currencies. But I think as long as there's a market and as long as there's a need for stable coins, it will be adopted and it will be used. And essentially what it is to receive payment and then there's a way you've got to obviously decide to off-ramp. But hopefully there'll come a day where you don't need to off-ramp off of stable coins and you can just, again, pay for your goods, services in stable coins. I think until that day comes, you might be right.
So final question is one that I'm liking to ask everyone about stablecoins. When will Amazon accept a stablecoin payment, and what coin will it be?
I think it's going to happen very soon because of the momentum we're seeing. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just going to say
it's a prediction.
I believe it will happen quite soon because if we're seeing Klarna start launching stablecoins and other fintechs launch stablecoins, there's no reason why Amazon can't. And also PayPal's obviously been getting involved as well. PayPal has their own stablecoin, so Amazon is a natural next step. And then in terms of what it would be, it could be their own. They have the user base. I think what's happening is the switch is flipping because it used to be the crypto native protocols that were here early were kind of the winners. But now if you've got like Amazon or Klarna with a large user base launching a crypto product, then yeah, that's competition.
It's going to be a game changer in my opinion. If Amazon release their own coin, it will change the landscape quite fundamentally. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.